They say you have to walk a mile in a man's shoes to know what he's going through. A white person will never, no matter how much they think they know or, they feel or whatever it is, a white person will never understand what it's like for a black man to go through the things that he go through. Sometimes I think they think what we're going through is supposed to happen. Now maybe somebody out there who know a little bit more than me can comment in the comment section and let me know. I'm trying to figure out if we were made to go through these things. Whenever time you hear a story of a black man, what his parents went through for him to be where he is, the racism, the prejudice, and all these things that we go through, no matter what, they will never understand. Because you have to walk a mile in a man's shoes. That means if you ain't living my life, if you have never been there, you don't know, man. You don't know. You don't know. Oh, man. I have to keep it real with people. Like I said, my thing is not scripted. I just speak from the heart. I get this video here and I'm listening to this man's story and the things that his parents been through. I forgot his name. I know he's an actor and so forth. He lives in the UK. But the things that his father go through, it's like every time you hear a story, man, of the things that we go through, it makes me wonder that maybe, just maybe, we were made for this. Because I don't see no other race could go through this and still standing. Things we go through, man. Like I said, if you don't live a man's life, you won't know what his life is like. You can be on the outside commenting and saying all kind of things. But if you were never black, you don't know what it's like to be black. We're going to watch this video. Leave your comment. Subscribe to the channel. Alright, back in a bit.
When the lion roars, jungle trembles. I know, jungle trembles. Yeah, everyone is gonna.
Yes, my viewers and subscribers, as I said before, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave your comment, leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down, however you feel, it's all up to you. Alright, and just remember, no justice, no peace.
I'm a really optimistic person. I like to think of myself as a positive person, but like so many people, these last few weeks have been impossibly difficult. But in a bid to kind of pull myself out of the hole I've been in, I've tried to look to the future that my children will step into. But in a bid to do that, I've had to look at the past. You guys who follow me know my dad. You know him as the leaf blower. But the reality is, my dad moved to the UK in the 60s. And when he arrived in the UK, people would check for his tail to see if he had one. He had coffee thrown in his face, hot coffee. He was spat at. He couldn't rent a place to live because it was no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. He would tell me these stories and they felt like something relegated to the past, something that we had moved on from. I stepped into a future that I determined was going to be different. I didn't have my dad's complete support for being an actor because he was scared that I would face the same marginalization and racism that he had faced. And so I didn't get the usual support I would get from my dad because of the pain he had experienced, but I did it anyway. I was blessed enough to play the King of England at the Royal Shakespeare Company, and my dad turned a corner and was proud of me. But what he didn't know is that every day there were people who were having to sift through my fan mail because I was getting so much hate mail for playing that role at the Royal Shakespeare Company. We eventually left the UK because, to be perfectly frank, it was challenged being a black person in my industry there at that time. But being someone who's optimistic, I felt, you know what, let's keep moving forward. I am going to build on what my dad gave me, on the opportunities the UK gave me, moved to America, and then played Dr. King in Selma, which was an amazing moment for me, and then got attacked for playing that role whilst being married to a white woman. And that became a whole other challenge to face again along these racial lines. This is not like losing one's life like George Floyd, but I'm just trying to help you guys who've been reaching out to me asking how I am, just what it is we black people face, and you may not always know. We did that film as well, and decided to, at the premiere of it, protest the death of Eric Garner wearing I Can't Breathe t-shirts. There were Academy members, the Oscars here in America, who called the studio and said, why are these actors stirring SHIT? Who do they think they are? We were protesting the death of a black man. And we felt we had the right to do that. They said, we are not going to vote for that film because they have the audacity to be protesting when all they are is actors. While this is going on, Brexit is happening. I've told you about what happened with my dad, but we think we're in a new day. My brother, who's a healthcare provider, is on the trains coming home from work. People are telling him, go back to where you came from. A few months, several months later, the pandemic hits, and now those same people who were telling him, go back to where you came from, are now applauding him for being a healthcare provider during a pandemic. So you feel like you have these moments of progress. I look at my dad and I go, well, things are better now than they were then. But you constantly get slapped in the face with the reality that things are essentially the same. And the thing that has really brutalized me this week has been watching my eldest son, who graduated last week. I'll be honest with you. I was walking past his bedroom and I heard sobbing. And I went in to see my son, and he was broken because he didn't quite understand the world he had graduated into. And I couldn't give him any comfort. We've had the talk about how to interact with police here in America, but George Floyd wasn't resisting arrest. Amy Cooper decided to weaponize the police against a birdwatcher in New York. We are not safe. And even though I'm an optimistic person, I now look to my son, having watched my father suffer what he suffered, some of what I have faced. There's so much more I could tell you of what I have faced. But I want a world where my son doesn't have to face those things. So I'm just recording this, having just...
Hold it, Papa. Hold it, brother. Hold it,
having
Papa.
just watched George Floyd's funeral,
We gotta go through,
where
man.
everyone was asked to be silent for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and that is such a long time. That is such a long time to have a man's knee on your neck. Oh, please let the future not be the same for my son as it has been for my dad, for me, and for so many black people over the centuries. So my friends who are reaching out to me saying, how are you doing? I'm not doing great. So link arms with me as we try and go into a future that is better than the past that we have had to endure. Black people didn't create this situation we find ourselves in.
So true.
It therefore can't be on us
So true.
to change it.
Shouldn't be.
It's going to be down to
We
all
gotta
of
have
us.
to pay for the change, bro.
I'm a really optimistic person.
My brothers and sisters. Like Rapper Crapper said, the struggle is real. And ain't no doubt about it. The struggle is real. What we going through and what we have gone through and still going through as black people. I want to say, I don't know what to say. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Because these things just making me get more angry lately. I find myself even swearing at the news when I see things that black people are going through. When I see it on the news, I find myself swearing, cussing, carrying on. Because it hurts, man. And only a black man would understand what I'm saying. I'm sorry to put it that way, but it's the truth. If you have never been through what we've been through, you understand. The more we try to not even explain, because there's nothing to explain, it's right in the eyes of everyone that we have been treated less than dirt. Animals have been treated better than black people. To be honest with you, black people you ain't get no recognition in the United States of America. We're just there because of the numbers. Don't recognize when they don't like we. That's why they're killing us so much, and that's why they want to kill us off. That's why they're doing everything in their powers to get rid of us. George Floyd death, since George Floyd death, you would think that they would go about this thing a little bit different. How many more people die after George Floyd? Hmm? How many more? So what does that show you? Hmm? Are we gonna have to take drastic measure? Hmm? I keep saying it to them. They better make some changes because this thing is not going to continue. Because this is not back in the days that I've heard about and read about and watched TV, what black people have been through. Slavery days gone a long time, but they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to use some of the same tactics and stuff they're trying to do. But I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have a bitch-ass hard time. It's not going to be like the last time. Trust me on that one. It is not going to be like the last time. Enough is enough. We have as much rights as anyone, any nation on the face of God's green earth. We have that rights. But no, everyone else, everybody else wants to look at us as nothing, to disrespect their races, they prejudice, they corruption, all these things and more. And I don't forget about the black people, the ones who are trying to keep down the other ones that don't want to see us rise. They come out and talk and said they're talking for the black community. Full of shit. 90% of them is full of shit. They're speaking for themselves. They're speaking for that bag. They're speaking for that bag. They got to keep that bag going. God is good, and without him, I am nothing. I'm looking for a change, and I know it's going to come one day. I would love to see it, and I pray that I am here to see it. But if I am not here, I hope the march continue and the change come. One way or the other, we gonna get that change. Yes, we gonna get that change. Believe you me. They know and they see that if that change come and we should take it personal and do the things that they do, blessings.